Hey guys, LootWizard here with another video on Gems of War, and the invasion is now active, so I wanted to go in here and just see what's going on with this and see what kind of team we can make, and see what's in the shop here. There's a new weapon available for this event. Black Mane's Claw deals 33 damage to an enemy, boosted by Raksha allies. Then create a mix of 6 red and brown gems for each Raksha ally. So it's your pretty standard mana generating weapon based on whatever allies you have in your team. And with these kind of weapons, as always, you're going to have more mana generated if you have 4 troops, including your hero class that is considered a Raksha. And I believe the Sun Spear class is considered Raksha, so if we want to utilize that weapon here in the event, we can set that up. But a lot of times in these events, we use a different weapon. So I like to buy up there right up to the weapon just so that I have it for future. Because you never know when the weapon is going to become like really good for a certain event or for something. So I always like to get those weapons in these sorts of events here. So it looks like troop type is Raksha, which makes sense because that was the weapon. So we're going to be building a team of Raksha troops. Now, there are a couple of Guardians that are Raksha, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. But Ubistet is a mythic troop that is Raksha, which is still pretty good. Umanath, I'm not really a big fan of. Sekma is pretty good as a legendary. I don't see it used as much anymore as I have in the past, but it's still a decent legendary troop. Other than that, you're going to have a couple of troops down in here that you might be able to pick up. But Cunning here is the Guardian troop for Raksha, and that's probably what I'm going to be going with because that's going to be really powerful. But let's see what else we have here. Raksha Free Blood is a good mana generator if you can get gold up there, because it's going to explode the board based on that. This guy here does damage to an enemy boosted by their life. So at higher levels in the event, this will do pretty good damage. And Shadow Hunter is going to be doing damage to the strongest enemy boosted by all enemy life, and it's a third of all enemy life, so that also can do some pretty nasty damage once you get higher up in the event. Other than that, we have a few troops here that might be useful. This one is a good support troop for Rakshas. It'll give an ally 25 attack, 2 magic. It doubles the effect if the ally is a Raksha, so it'd be 50 attack and 4 magic. So that's a good little support troop. Tagraki Warrior, which a lot of you are familiar with from the bounty events. I love this guy for that. Deals true damage to an enemy boosted by their armor. So at higher levels in this event, this will also be a really good troop to use. But I'm going to be building a team off of the Cunning, because these are Guardian troops here. I might throw in an Ubistet, and then we're going to go for a class. Now, Sun Spear is the Raksha class, but it's going to be creating a Firestorm every single turn, which is not going to fill up the Guardian troops. So I might go with something different. Let's check out what weapons we can use. I think we have pretty much every weapon available to us because it's, Raksha troops is the restriction, and weapons aren't really considered a troop. So we have a lot to choose from here. And we could do something like using the Doom Claw here. Dawnbringer's useful. Essence of Evil is probably going to be really useful. Fiendfire could be good, but we got Cunning going on there. Then the other thing is to consider is mana generation. How are we going to generate mana? Because nothing right now in my team generates that. So we could throw in Essence of Evil, put it at the top. It's a mana generator, as well as it will do a lot of negative status effects on an enemy, so we can shut enemies down with that. And I might do something like that to start off with. You could also use Reflection of Good for a mana generator. And there's always Mountain Crusher, which, it won't generate mana for Cunning, which is a little tricky here that we have purple there. And if we're using the Sun Spear class like this, you know, it's probably better in a team like this if we don't use the Sun Spear, but we use something like Titan. And we could still use Mountain Crusher, but Ubistet would be the main thing getting filled up with Mountain Crusher. So I'm going to go green, purple, something like this. And now in the early parts of the event here, I probably should do a different team just because the enemy is going to have such low health and armor that to get through these early stages quicker, something like Dawnbringer or just any kind of weapon that does damage to all enemies would be really the fastest way to deal with them. So we'll probably come back to this team, but I want to get through this a lot quicker. So let's go here. Let's pick a weapon that's going to do damage to all enemies. And with that in mind, let's see what we have that is not a Doom weapon or something that's hard to get. So, we have Dancing Daggers, which does damage to all enemies. This is a class weapon, fairly easy to get. Fiend Fire is also a class weapon, very good, does damage to all enemies and also curses them. So that's something there. Orb of Winter is a class weapon, does damage to all enemies, that's also very good. And yeah, so there's a couple of good weapons right there. Of course, you got things like Black Manacles, which deals damage to all enemies. And that'll be pretty good too early on. I might actually switch out Fiend Fire for this one because we'll have Brown in there. We can fill that up quicker. So let's go with Black Manacles here. And let's change. We could keep the class the same. And now that this is powered up, cast that. Yeah, for early levels like this, I would definitely go with a weapon or a troop that does damage to all enemies so you can clear out these early rooms a lot quicker. And then once you get to the higher level in the invasion, you're going to want to switch back to something that will do a lot more damage. But I'm definitely going to recommend these Guardians, because if you have 2 or 3 of them that you can put in a team, they will do a lot of damage. Especially if you have them ascended to Mythic, and that's really an important part with those Guardians. They'll still do quite a bit of damage even if you don't have them ascended, but that's really what you want to go for. And the other thing with them too is you want to fully trait them, because the thing that really makes them powerful is this final trait. It'll give 4 to all skills of whatever type the Guardian troop is. And all Guardian troops attack twice. So it's really nice because you can do the damage twice. And if there's only one enemy left, then it's going to do that damage to that one enemy 2 times. So things are starting to get a little bit more difficult here. Now, one thing to mention really quick about Ubistat is that in these events like this, and I just leveled up after like a year of not leveling. One thing to mention here is that this does have that lethal kill, but it does not work on these special troops like this, because it says it's immune to all status effects, even lethal damage. So Ubistat's kind of dead weight later on. Once you have like 3 or 4 invasion towers in the enemy team, Ubistat's gonna really do virtually nothing. And you should probably just switch it out for another Guardian troop or something like that. Works good against these regular troops, but not the towers. So what you want is a really great mana generator and maybe like 3. Let's see if we can switch this up a little bit. If I do 3 here, or if we have some kind of mana generator here. Explode 1 gem, boost my gain 10 gold. I mean, that could be a potential mana generator. This does that. I might be missing something else here. But if we put this in here, if we rely on just these 2 guys, let's see, what can we use for mana generation as a weapon? There was the weapon we got with the event that we could take a look at. I forget what it was called. I think it was this right here. Creates a mix of red and brown gems. That's not going to help us with the guardians here. So we could just go with something like Essence of Evil as a mana generator. And then it will generate some mana for the 2 cunning troops. And then we have another mana generator with Raksha Free Blood. And I might go with something like that. So the thing is, if we use the Sun Spear class, it's going to create a firestorm every single turn, which doesn't help us out because we're not using the color red in any of our teams here. Nice thing about Raksha Free Blood is that every time you cast it, it will explode more gems because it's going to gain gold. But at later levels, it might be sufficient just to use Essence of Evil for a mana generator and just put in like a 3rd Guardian. Yeah, that's pretty much all the ideas I have for now on an invasion team. I think the Guardians are probably going to be the best option to use going forward into the top stage 8 here, because they're going to do a lot of damage as long as you can get 4 and 5 matches pretty often. So yeah, that's all I got here on the invasion for today. And of course we got the other Imperial summons going on, and then of course Guild Wars at the same time. And yeah, these weeks like this are a little frustrating for me because I have, not a whole lot of time to spend on the game like I used to. And you got 3 events going on in the same week, Guild Wars, and then 2 of these other events. And it's like, wow, like how do I keep up with all that? But it is what it is. So yeah, and I guess a new campaign is going on. Like, could go over here and check out what the Mythic Troop looks like for this. I haven't been keeping up with any of these campaigns, but I do like to check out the Mythic Troop just to see what new Mythic they're putting in the game. I believe you would pronounce that Dao. It is an elemental mystic, 26 mana cost. And let's see what its ability does. Malicious Wishes. Eliminate 11 from a random skill on an enemy. Destroy 8 gems of one of their mana colors. Then repeat 2 more times for random enemies. So this is kind of like the reverse of Shabanu Vespera. Because Vespera, creates a lot of mana for your allies. This one here is going to create a lot of mana based on the colors that your enemy is using. So it's a little less predictable. I'm going to say that this probably won't be quite as powerful as Vespera, because the other thing that Vespera does is it adds points to your skills randomly to your allies. So that can really boost a lot of damage. This is eliminating skill points on the enemy, which is still going to be probably pretty good, but I don't think it will be good as Vespera. And then looking here at its last trait, 30% chance to summon a Servant of the Dao when matching 4 or more gems. That's a pretty low percentage chance, 30%, but you are going to probably be matching quite a few 4 or more gem matches. So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting troop, but I don't think it's worth spending real money on and spending all the time doing those campaigns. So, well, there you have it, guys. There's my quick invasion video for this week, and hopefully you got something out of that. But yeah, I recommend using those Guardian troops if you have them for this event. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I'll catch you on the next video. Later.